Hello everybody and welcome. For this video, I'm going to be testing DTF powder and DTF transfer film with sublimation ink on a regular mug and a canvas. We're going to test it out, see how it works, and see how well it transfers. So the first thing I had to do was pick the designs that I'm going to put on the cup and the canvas, size them accordingly, print it out, and then I got to add the powder to the DTF transfer film the design has been printed on. Once I've added the powder to the whole thing, coated the whole thing, I put it under the heat press to warm it. I do this at 385 degrees for about a minute. While it's heating under the heat press, I open up the canvas because it's wrapped in a plastic to protect it from getting any dust or dirt or anything on it. It keeps the canvas clean. So I remove that protective layer, clean the surface of the mug, get it all prepped and ready. And then I take the designs out from under the heat press. They've been heated up properly. So then I go about taping the designs onto the canvas. And first thing I'm going to do, since I already have it heated up, is press the canvas. So I press it at 380 degrees for just 15 seconds. After I press it, I take it out, I let it cool off. So while I'm waiting for that to cool off, I tape down the design onto the mug and I turn off my heat press, and I've got to switch it. I've got one of those multi heat press where I can hook up a mug press to it. I have a hat press and a few other pieces to it. But so I disconnect the heat press or the flat press, and I connect the mug press, and I preheat the mug press to 380 degrees. While I'm doing that, I make sure that the mug's all taped down and protect it. I pressed it on for 60 seconds. Once I do that, I take it out and I let it cool off. While I'm letting it cool off, we're going to look at the results for the canvas because it's been completely cool. I peel off the transfer sheet, and it's just a mess, guys. Like, it didn't press well. I noticed the back of the canvas has bubbled a little bit. That tells me that the press was too hot for the canvas material. So I decided to give it another try. This time I'm going to press it at 300 degrees for 15 seconds and see if that presses better. So I go through all the steps again. I print out the design. I put powder on it, put it under the press to warm it, so it goes through that process for another minute at 380 degrees, and then I turn down the heat press to 300 degrees and I let the heat press cool to the 300 degrees temperature. While I'm letting it set to 300 degrees, I go check the mug because it has had time to cool. And I go to peel off the transfer film, and pieces of the image come with it. It did not transfer onto the mug properly. As you can see, I can peel it right away. That to me tells me it's not a good transfer. It wouldn't last. It didn't even last the transferring it onto the cup, which is horrible. So DTF film and DTF powder with sublimation ink do not work on regular cups at all. This is not a sublimation cup. This is just a regular cup. It's a cup I tried to put a water decal on and failed miserably at. So this was my test mug. So I tested DTF powder and DTF transfer film with sublimation ink on the mug. It failed. Do not do that. Do not put DTF powder and use a DTF transfer film on a regular mug. It does not work. So I go after the heat press is all heated. I switch over to that. I put the canvas in, for 15 seconds. After I put it in for 15 seconds, I take it out and I let it cool. It's always important to let things cool while using DTF transfer film and powder. So once I let it cool, then I take off the transfer film. Guys, this time it worked awesome. Now, the texture that you're seeing, it's because it's canvas. That's the texture of the canvas that will always show up. You've seen this when I did sublimating on canvas with my sublimation hack. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link in the corner of this video so you guys can click on that and go check that out. How to sublimate on canvas. The whole thing transferred properly. It looks amazing. There's no bubble in the back, telling me that turning it down to 300 degrees was what's needed. The first time was too hot, and so 300 degrees for 15 seconds did it. That is awesome. The first one, there was pieces that got stuck. It smushed. The transfer didn't happen properly, as you can see in the middle part of one of them. And the bubble on the back was another thing that made me believe that it was too hot. I gave it a try, turned it down. It came out perfect. Again, that texture, it's because it's on canvas. If I was putting it on something flat, it would have a more shiny, flat texture to it. But I think it looks great. I'm very happy with the results after the second attempt. I will not be trying to use DTF powder and DTF transfer film on any more regular mugs. This is why we troubleshoot and try to figure out what works and what don't. Do a little bit of experimenting. That's part of the crafting journey, is experimenting, trying new things, seeing what works. We found mugs don't work. We did a trial and error with canvases, figured out that lower temperature is better. Then we got the results we were looking for. So that is great. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more experiment videos like this, let me know down in the comments. If you did enjoy it, remember to hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I make new videos every week. Thank you guys for watching, and have an awesome day, everybody. Happy crafting.